So where did Alky come from?
Well, I mean, I've been like invested in music since I was a kid. My mom loves to tell the story that I performed for my grandmother on her birthday. We had this like little Casio keyboard, and the keys would light up, so you could play along with songs even if you didn't know how to play. So I was young, and so for my grandmother's birthday, I decided to play her House of the Rising Sun on the keyboard, which is not a great birthday song, but ever since I was young, I guess I love the attention, right? I guess not everybody loves the attention, but I like the attention. But more than anything, I just had a passion for music and ended up going to an art school and getting classically trained on all this stuff. But at the time, I wasn't grateful for it. Like I had a drum set in the garage, and that's what I wanted to play. I didn't want to play piano or violin or sing in choir.
Yeah.
And then as I got a little older and into my teenage years, I started to take those things seriously. I stopped going to the art school. And then I realized that I needed that in my life when it wasn't being forced on me on a daily basis. Like I started to miss it. And so kept playing, ended up going to a public school for my last 2 years of high school, and started partying and drinking and all this sort of stuff. And that summer, maybe it just finally reached my group, but I'm pretty sure that was the summer that Chance the Rapper was like blowing up for acid raps.
Oh
And
my God. Yeah.
and so he put out Cocoa Butter Kisses. And I had been like recording some YouTube videos just under my regular name, just either garbage I wrote or bad covers, whatever, with just like a camcorder, not even like a legit recording. But I was posting it, just making stuff. And I was sold. I'm like, I'm going to just do this. My buddy Scott had been putting out music for a few years that he'd been like producing and recording professionally. And it sounded amazing. So I'm like, I want to do that. Like, that's what I want to do. And so I'm like, I just need to find a pen name. And the first line in Cocoa Butter Kisses, which I really like and relate to, but is Okie Dokie Alky, and he goes from there. So I was like, Alky, like, that's not bad.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
And then, of course, being the IT nerd, I'm like checking the SEO on Alky. Like, do I have any competitors? Like, how can I promote this? And it ended up working out pretty well. And so, yeah, Alky. I mean, I'm not necessarily an alcoholic, which is of course what it's short for, but it's more I definitely struggle with addictive tendencies and that sort of mindset, and so it's sort of representative of that, I guess. But
No shit.
yeah, I guess, and now I've been doing it for since 2016, 2017, so 4 or 5 years.
Damn.
It's starting to fly. It's wild, but yeah. It's been a ride. It's been crazy. I've had times where I had 10,000 monthly listeners. And I've got like right now 169 last I just checked. Hey, yo. But yeah, it just has its waves. And of course my relationship with it has waves too. But it's been fun. It's been interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, because like you were putting out stuff pretty consistently, and then just like everything else creative, the pandemic kind of put a little on it.
Right. Yeah. And it's been really tough because a lot of my music, it's really like almost a journal entries from those periods of my life, right? Like I'll get in a situation or some sort of mood or emotion or mindset, and the only way I can express it and get over it is to make a song about it and to record it. Whether it's a good song or not, it does the trick. So I put them out. But so my music library starts when I was in a dark place. I put out a few songs. Shit went real south for me real quick, and then when I came back from it, I decided I was going to do it more, and you can like literally chart my mental health progress through my music. It's kind of crazy. The total tone has changed and the lyrics and everything. But so that kind of happened post meltdown, and then Palm Life came around, your fave.
That's like I love Self-Destruct. I do. I adore that. But like there's something about Palm Life that like, I don't know. Yeah. It just does it.
Palm Life, I get that. And it holds a very special place in my heart for a few reasons. But first and foremost, it was the last album or EP I produced front to back myself. Every track on it, every instrument, everything. I sampled some stuff like a friend of mine's vocals for XORX. It was an Instagram clip she posted of just her playing guitar. And I'm like, that would be a sick chorus. So I got her permission, and I literally just like ripped it off Instagram and fucked with it. But that whole EP, it's not really an album, but that whole EP is like probably some of my most raw music that I put out, and I still stand by a lot of what I said on it. And like I've thought about it often, like maybe I should go back and make the same songs, but now with the technical skills I have now, so that they sound how I wish they sounded.
Right.
But still the songs they are today. But yeah, Palm Life, I thought was going to be this huge game changer for me, and in a lot of ways it was. But I ended up doing a release party for it and put on a whole show that literally no one came to. So I knew these people at this venue, so we had a deal, and they wanted to put on a show, and I told them, okay, I can get these local acts. I know a few kind of like D-list celebrities who could maybe perform if I pay them and whatever. And I wasn't here to make a profit. I was here to just do it and hopefully maybe get some fans in the process. But so I book this venue and book all these artists and get everything sorted out. The venue gets a liquor license, which is thousands of dollars for the night. They buy thousands of dollars of liquor. And so the whole plot was that there would be it was pretty much like a 5 or 6 artist mini festival in the course of one night. Like everybody just had like a 45-minute set, and it was just back to back to back. So I had this headliner who was supposed to kind of pull fans, who was, like I said, D-list celeb. And then literally the day before, he'd been kind of ghosting me for like the 2 weeks. I'd already paid him, of course, but he'd been ghosting me for the last couple of weeks. And then the day before, he's like, "Yeah, bro, not gonna make it." And I was like, "All right, I see." So I had to scramble to cover it. But all the other local artists who came out, they had some fans who came out. And like I had friends and family who came out, which is nice, and I really appreciate the support. But I was hoping I would draw at least one unfamiliar face, or somebody from the other sets would stick around so I could maybe, show what I got to them. And that wasn't the case. So by the end of the night, the room was empty, just blinding lights going off from the stage, and I was having a meltdown, and only my family was there, and like I said, some friends. And my DJ talked me into it. He's like, "Bro, we're here to do a show. We got to do the show." And I'm like, You're right. Let's do it.
Right.
So I go out and I perform Palm Life for its debut, and it went all right. I was still like super emotional, so I was performing like shit, but everybody when I was done was super supportive and said they liked it, and I do think I put on a pretty good show. But yeah, and then what ended up happening is my dad actually lived in Alaska at the time, and he flew in. He flew in like every 6 months to visit, and it was birthday season because it was March when it happened, and our family's birthday season. And so he moved his flight a couple days earlier so he could like come to the show and make it, which meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And then that ended up being the last time I saw him before he passed away.
Jesus Christ.
That show. So Palm Life is like, I've got a lot of feelings about Palm Life.
Fuck yeah.
But,
I mean, damn, that night became a lot more loaded than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, and that's like, I think that's super important with it. I think that's one of the more raw tellings that I've heard of, like, because celebrities are like, yeah, well, I was doing nothing in the beginning, then I made it, and it's always the I did nothing and now I'm fucking Leonardo DiCaprio,
right?
Or I'm DJ Khaled or whoever, and I think that does happen.
Sure.
Yeah, that definitely does happen, whether or not it's as like sad and sappy as they want to make it, because it's always the generic kind of spiel they give in interviews, they give in even like in concerts when they just boast about themselves. But I don't think anyone's ever been as open as that. Like, that's some real shit, dude. You got to go through that shit.
Yeah, and it fucked me up for a minute, and that stopped me from making music for a hot minute.
What did you pull out of that though? Like, what did you learn?
I mean, for one, thank fucking God I did the show.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't.